not even mean Bowers game for me.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today we're excited to check out Dr. Doctor from Indie Board and Cards, a game of simple surgery. This is for 2 to 5 players. Age is 14 plus. It'll take about 20 minutes to play. And in Dr. Doctor, you're going to have a pair of tweezers, and you're going to be a doctor trying to remove different body parts from a patient in order to save their life and get oh so valuable victory points. But it's not going to be that easy because for some reason they have cubes stacked on top of their body, and if those cubes fall over, they die. Not sure how that one works thematically. Also, you're going to be timed, which actually does kind of work because, you know, if you take too long as a doctor, then your patient's going to die. It's an incredibly difficult dexterity game with a couple odd twists and turns thrown in. Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're taking a look at what you're going to get inside of Dr. Doctor. So first and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule booklet. It's 6 tiny pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples, and overall very well done. Should have you up and running in no time at all. I don't think we really had any additional questions. So thumbs up on the rule booklet. So in Dr. Doctor, what you're trying to do is you're trying to be the first person to perform enough surgeries to score 12 points. You're going to get victory points right here by the stars on the cards. You're going to be using these tweezers to try and remove different parts of the patient's body. This is the patient right here, off the operating table, and if you can remove those certain parts, you'll score points. But you're going to be timed, which will make it more difficult, and there's also going to be cubes on top of there. So there's 2 different types of cubes. Let's go over the components. Let's get in the gameplay. So first, component-wise, you're going to get a whole bunch of these really oddly shaped cards that are all going to have different colors. They're going to be yellow, pink, blue, or red, or green, I believe they are. And they're going to represent different parts of the body. So bones, hearts, brains, all that sort of thing. But they are very difficult to shuffle. That's one thing I do want to mention. You are just going to want to have to wash shuffle as opposed to trying to shuffle these. But once you have them out, you start up the game. You're going to set out 3 cards up here. Then you're going to twist this like so, get it all nice and mixed up, and then place the patient on top so that they are stable. This is actually, the thing on the bottom is actually an insert that comes in the box to hold everything, but it actually doubles as the operating table. Next, you're going to get out the cubes. They have these small cubes, the plastic cubes. These are what they call the regular version of the game, and these are the beginner's version. You will never use these ever. Let me assure you, this game is insanely, stupidly hard. I would highly recommend sticking with the big cubes when you first learn the game, but if you're crazy, go ahead, try them. You'll switch. You will. So you're going to set those out, and you are ready to start the game. So decide who's going to go first, and they're going to pick one of the surgeries that's available to them. So this surgery right here is going to give us 4 points if we complete it. We're going to have to get out a lung card, which I believe is a green card, and a red card. But it's not going to be that easy because there's going to be 5 cubes stacked on top of the patient, which is why there's a 5 next to that number. And this is where the game gets hard, because there's only one way to score points and to win the game, and that is by getting those 2 without a whole plethora of things happening. So first, if the guy falls off the pile, you lose. If any of the cubes fall over, you lose. You run out of time, you lose. If you touch any of the cards with your fingers and not with the tweezers, you lose. There's quite a few different ways to lose. In fact, it almost feels like Pandemic, because here's all the different ways you could lose. Lose, 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 lose. There's only one way to win. So let's run the timer, and let's just give you a mock turn. So I'm going to try out none of these are particularly easy, but I'll take a look at what we got. And this is important because before you do your operation, you are going to want to look to kind of see, which cards do I want to get? And actually, I shouldn't put these cubes on here just yet, but hey, whatever. So I'll go with the blue. I'll go with the yellow and pink, because I think maybe I can squeeze this yellow one right out here. So let's set the sand timer up. Ready, set, go. So I need a yellow and a pink. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll push it a little bit over here. And oh, God! Okay, that was a terrible example. Let's start it. Let's just reset the timer. Reset the timer. Let's do it one more time. So if that were to happen, my turn would be over, the round would fail, and we would just continue on. Pretty simple. But this time, we're not going to fail. So, put the 5 cubes back up top. Balance them nice and neat. And then, I'm going to set the sand timer. What do we say? Yellow and pink? Let's do it. Actually, there's pink right here, so we can just gently... and then gently, yeah. Okay, we're easing it out. We're easing out the pink one. We got to be extra careful. This is actually looking kind of promising. But you have to be careful. There's a blue one right underneath there as well. Oh, yeah, let's get this pink out. Come on, get it. So push this blue. Almost got the pink one out. Almost got it. Come on, get that pink one out. Get that little pink one out. And the sand timer's out. Yeah, you can't see it, but the sand timers ran out. which I'm going to tell you more in the pros and cons, but this sand timer, it can go to hell. So that surgery would fail, and then most likely the next player is going to go, and they're going to try to pick one of these. So let's just say we do this one right here. So pink, blue, yellow, but this time we're only going to put 3 cubes on top. Maybe that'll make it easier. So we take this up, we wash it up one more time, make sure that the patient in the middle is stable. That's important. Put 3 cubes on there, and let's get going on this one. I need a pink, a blue, and a yellow. So let's get this yellow right here. This one, yellow just poking out, so push everything over here. Get the yellow. Oh, I might get the yellow and the blue. Yes, the yellow and the blue. This is going to be great. Totally going to get some points right now. It's going to be super sweet. That's my point song. I like to sing before I get points. I just made it up. It's pretty great. You like it? All right, so get the blue and the yellow. Oh, God, I'm dead. And not to mention time ran out. But anywho, you're going to continue to do that. Now, let's just pretend, though, that I had gotten out the blue and the yellow successfully, which would be great. Hey, I got the blue and the yellow out. Well, I still didn't get the pink, but these 2 cards that I got out now actually go out here, which means now there's more choices for other people to get, including potentially getting this easy one, which is only worth 2, where you only have to get 1 yellow. But you're going to continue to do this until someone eventually scores 12 points, at which point they will be the winner of Dr. Doctor. That, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alright then, Dr. from Indie Board and Cards. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. Before we get started, I want to mention that there's more text down here than normal. In fact, there's 2 numbers. Because as I'm going to tell you, if you play this by the rules written in the rule booklet, it's a terrible game. I just want to flat out say I would give this a 3. I had no fun with it, and none of the people I played with had fun with it. Everyone I tried to play it with the right way did not enjoy the game. They were just frustrated. They said, this is impossible. This is stupid. And we're not talking about like 2 or 3 people. I had 15 different people try to get 2 cards out in the time limit. With the big cubes, not even with the little cubes, not even with the little cubes, which are, you know, what you're starting with. The big cubes are supposed to be the beginner cubes. This game is dumb. It's too hard if you're playing it the actual way. Not like fun, like ha 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 hard. Like, I don't think actual surgeons could do this game with that time limit. I would love to see someone, you know, getting themselves a 5 or 6 point, I don't think there's, yeah, 6 point card. I would love to see someone do one of those big cards where you have to take out 3 things at a time limit, because I just don't think it is possible. It is ridiculously hard, and I'm just going to say that this is not a game I can recommend to anybody at all if you plan on playing it that way. So that's the short review. Now let's talk about the house ruled review, which is where you get rid of the sand timer. And I know that's a very unorthodox way to review the game, but it's really quite simple. I have nothing good to say about this game if you're playing it the actual way, because especially if the first 3 cards you get out are difficult cards, you're just going to sit there and, oh, my turn's up, oh, my turn's up, my turn's up, my turn's up, my turn's up. No one's going to score any points! I don't understand how did no one raise their hand, you know, and say, hey, this is really, really hard. Like, not in a good, like, ghost stories kind of way, but like a really, like, not fun kind of way. But I'm done. I'm hammered on that. If you absolutely will not play a game without house rules, then I can't recommend this game to anybody, period, end of the discussion. But now we're talking about with house rules, where you get rid of the sand timer and you chuck it against a cement wall. Let's talk about the pros and cons of that game. So, first on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. It's a dexterity game, and it's still a difficult game. Even without the sand timer, it's a difficult game, because getting out those little cards and doing this, and you got to push stuff back in and move the patient and do it at different angles and doing all that, it's really difficult. And I tried with the cubes one time, and I was like, no, because even the slightest bump of these little cubes, it's just like, boop, oh, round over. So, I do like the fact that the cubes are in there, so if you do get good at this game, then this could be like your expert mode, and then if you get super good, then you can keep the sand timer, which hopefully you didn't chuck against a cement wall or something crazy like that, and use that as the absolutely insane expert mode. But the game is very difficult, and it is a dexterity game. That's another big comment I have with this game. With a lot of games, everybody's got a puncher's chance to win if they get lucky, or a good card draw, or good dice rolling, or just making solid choices. This is purely, how good are your fine motor skills? Do you have a steady hand? Can you get the cards out? If you can, and if you're really good at that, you are going to crush everyone else's face in every single time you play. There's nothing that's there to mitigate. There's no catch-up mechanism pretty much at all, except there's a tiny one, which is that after someone has taken out 2 or 3 pieces, then they put those pieces out on the main area, so you have more choices. So if you go after someone who's really good, you're always going to have choices because they're always going to be pulling stuff out. But I don't think that's a good enough catch-up mechanism for this game. Also, on the con side, the artwork's going to be a turn-off to some people. I actually personally like the artwork, but the kids in my class, some of them thought it looks kind of weird, and I will agree, it does look kind of weird. Like, what's this box? Like, is that the patient? I think that's the patient, right? Is that the patient who's scared? I don't know. It's kind of odd box art. I do like the artwork, though. Any other cons I have of the game? I would like some more meat on the bones. I really would. I think this game would be better if there was just a little teeny bit extra. Maybe some special abilities, maybe this, maybe that. I don't know. Something else I extra added in the game would have been nice. But moving on to the pros. Dr. Doctor, assuming you're playing with the house rules where you take away the sand timer, is actually a pretty dang fun game. And the kids in my class really enjoyed it. The one group of adults I played it with really enjoyed it as well. And it has a lot going for it. And the best thing that I can say about this game is the theme really does come across when you start to role play it, when you start getting into it. Like, when every time I would, like, have cubes fall and it was, like, close to be like, it never gets any easier, you know, and I was getting into it. And that made it fun. Also, it's like you're making these very tiny, like, oh man, it's so intense when you're like trying to get this card off. Because like the thing is, you can't touch the cubes. Like once the cubes start to almost fall off, like you can't touch them. So you just have to be extra stinking careful with the little tweezers. You're like, come on. And then it's like, do I want to? And you never know. It's like, do I just want to pull it out all of a sudden, or do I want to shake it some more? Do I want to push something? And that's fun. I did enjoy that aspect of the game, and it feels like this is the kind of game that could go over really well in a lot of different groups, which is another thing. It's very easy to learn. It's very easy to teach. Not easy to master by any stretch of the imagination, but I had fun with it. The kids in my class had fun with it. The adults I played with had fun with it. Heck, my wife had fun with it. Everybody who played it without the timer enjoyed the game. And there you go. So that's what I got. Dr. Doctor. This is a really difficult one for me to review because if I'm reviewing it just based on purely the rulebook alone, it's not a fun game. I had zero fun. Like, zero. The funnest part was reading the rules and being like, oh man, this is going to be fun. And then immediately just getting slapped in the face over and over and over and over. And I did. I assure you, I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried to make that stupid sand timer work. And it just, no. I want to see it. I want to see somebody post a video on Board Game Geek of it. Because with the rules written as the way they are, it just blows my mind. Blows my mind that sand timer got into this game. Like, maybe if that sand timer is supposed to be doubled, then we got ourselves a conversation. Maybe you're supposed to flip the sand timer twice. Maybe that part got omitted from the rules. But, okay. I've already talked about it. So that's Dr. Doctor. Very fun, enjoyable game, as long as you're willing to just chuck the sand timer out. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click on that little Amazon Associates link down below. Buy anything on Amazon, throw a couple pennies my way. And in the comments below, let me know, what did you think is going to be the reason why you go to the doctor the next time you do? Me personally, my throat's been hurting me for a while. Normally when I swallow, not like a huge pain, just a slight minor pain. And then I got this really bad pain, like right here, which I think is like my pelvis, like right here. No, I'm not trying to do any double entendres here. I'm actually hoping if someone in the comments will tell me if this is the pelvis, which is like right here. Sometimes when I walk, it's just like all of a sudden pain. I think if I drink more water, it might help. I haven't drank much water lately, so hopefully it's just dehydration. Hopefully. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you think is going to be the reason you go to the doctor the next time you go to the doctor? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.